What's going on, everybody? I'm Chase. It's my buddy Brian. We're being floated around by Luke. And this is Wrecked Bike Rebuild, the YouTube motorcycle build show. We take motorcycles that are wrecked and we turn them into dream bikes with really expensive parts, apparently. So, in today's episode, we have a torn apart Panigale. We've fixed our little leaking oil issue. You guys can watch the last episode. This is episode 7, so if you want to see that, you can do it as 6. And today, we get to install a really expensive exhaust, thanks to our friends at Motomillion. Motomillion is a company that specializes in sport bikes and has really good parts for motorcycles. And we're going to work with them installing an exhaust today because holy shit! How much is the exhaust?
$4,600. $4,600. Yes.
You're probably wondering, Chase, what exhaust are we going to put on this, what's going to be an amazing Ducati 959, not Street Fighter? Let me tell you, it did not come like this. We did an unboxing over on the Patreon page. Patreon is how we fund this entire show. So, if you want to win the motorcycle and you literally get given it, go check out the Patreon page. We did an unboxing over there. But, obviously, a Termignoni exhaust in its titanium and supposedly is really cool. And very, very expensive. I wasn't nervous for this episode. It was like, oh cool, it should be a pretty chill episode. We've already taken an exhaust off.
Go get our nice gloves and put on them too, because we don't want to make any fingerprints in this.
This got so serious so quick. So, official tally for whatever we're spending on this motorcycle is $4,595. Ka-ching. That is what we've spent on this build so far. We've got a lot of stuff. I've already looked through some. I don't know what any of this is, but I don't even want to unbox it without gloves right now, fam. I don't want to mess this up. Right. I don't spend this type of money on my own motorcycle, so that's why I'm a little nervous right now. Most of the bikes I've ever bought cost as much as this freaking exhaust.
Cranked up right now.
Dude, I literally
should have looked at that number after we put it on.
No, because then, dude, if you know me, look, this washer would have been sitting on this table, and I'd have been like, sweet, the exhaust, snap. Brown would have been like, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that the shield, the heat shield thing?
Yeah, this is the new heat shield.
Oh, I did not know that was carbon fiber.
So you really didn't even totally unbox everything.
I didn't unbox it. I opened the boxes, and then I didn't want to touch anything more than that.
Now the one that coming off of it is steel.
Is it? Oh, it's attached to the subframe. I was going to say, I'm going to go grab it so I can feel it.
But that probably weighs, twice what this weighs.
That weighs literally nothing.
So it's just a heat shield, but every little bit helps, right?
What is this big old bracket?
So that's a replacement for where the bodywork comes together in the belly pan.
Right. Oh.
So like that piece that's sticking off the back of the fan. What connects to that in the bodywork.
Oh, okay.
That's a replacement for it. So
we won't even really be touching that.
No, that's
today, really.
Well, probably not. No.
You can't take it out of the bag, Brian. What are you doing?
I want you guys to see.
You are living such a dangerous life right now.
Why this is such an expensive exhaust system.
Explain to them and me, please.
These are all machine TIG welded titanium.
Titanium sounds really strong.
Well, titanium is strong, and it's so strong that they could use a lot less of it. So it's very light to use, but is extremely difficult to weld. And
because it's so strong?
Especially, yeah, because it melts at such a high temperature.
Right.
You have to really get the temperature right, otherwise you can burn holes in it real quick.
So that's why titanium's such a big deal when,
Okay, so it's difficult to work with and it's an expensive metal.
Right.
But these machine welds are just amazing. The build quality of this exhaust system is just incredible.
Yeah.
This is the collector.
Dude,
Oh my God.
this is so complicated. Oh my Jesus. Look at that thing.
Look at this thing. Look how pretty that is.
Oh, this is exciting now. Hell yeah.
So isn't that cool? Titanium, when you heat it a lot, it rainbows. You see like all the welds are like rainbow colored.
Wait, I thought some titanium pipes were like blue.
Well, they'll gold.
Oh, okay.
Titanium will gold when it gets overheated.
Right.
But then when it gets really, really hot, instead
Yeah.
of it bluing, it rainbows like that.
That's pretty nice. You know what? I just remembered something in my haze of sticker shock that there's a link to the Motomillion website in the description, and you guys can get a discount on the things you buy if you use code CHASE. So hopefully you won't have to spend
$4,600.
you won't have to spend quite as much as other people did. Or do if you don't use that code. So, use that code if you're buying stuff for your super sports. They have other stuff other than Ducati, by the way. So, I haven't like seen all that. Like, that thing was nutty. Before we open it, Luke, come over here. Let's look at I want to show you guys what the exhaust looks like on this bike. This goes here, and that's what the bottom of it looks like, so that we all understand what this looked like beforehand. Because if you don't understand what it looks like beforehand, you can't appreciate it, what it's about to look like. Dude, these look sick. Oh my goodness. I'm peeking through little holes.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. Now, Brian, they're probably wondering, Chase, these look just like the other ones. But you would be wrong, because this does not exit like that. It exits out the front.
For anybody that's actually ridden a Panigale before, that's kind of nice because when you stop at a traffic light and you put your feet down, the exhaust blows on your feet.
Oh, really? The stock
Yes.
ones?
Yep.
Wait, is that what the front mounted? I thought it was just to clean the back.
You know, honestly, it's probably just better flow.
Yeah.
The way the pipes come together and then exit this way and not have to go this way and then come back. So it is probably a bit more efficient to do it this way.
Gotcha.
But added on top of that is the fact that now the exhaust isn't going to blow on your feet.
Right.
It's pretty damn light. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot here,
Right.
so it's not like feather light, but
Yes.
for what it is compared to that,
Yeah, that thing
it's
is substantial.
it's very light. Yeah.
Let's build it, essentially make that out of this.
Yes.
Well, you know, Brian, I would feel like a bad video person if we didn't do slow-mo shots.
I think we got the wrong silencer.
Whoa! Whoa! What?
I think we got the wrong silencer.
Wait, why?
This is a silencer for a slip-on.
Wait, so
Not the
this
full
is
system.
the silencer.
Yes,
So you're saying this and this don't match?
correct. Can you see what?
Yeah, because
is
this is
missing?
a 1 and this is a 2.
So if this was correct, this would slide into this pipe like this. Each one of those mufflers would slide on, and then these would come off. This one goes this way. This
Is
one
there
goes
not
this
anything
way.
else we have? Or is there no like 2
Well, you
into
know how
1?
they came in 2 separate boxes, the head pipe and then the silencer was in the other box.
Right.
They sent us the wrong silencer.
Oh no.
Oh no, is right. They sent us the wrong silencer.
Ooh.
They sent us a slip-on silencer instead of a full system silencer.
But we got the titanium. Yeah.
We have the full head pipe, but we don't have the silencer that matches this. We have the you know how they sell a slip-on version of the front exit. This is it.
Right.
This is how it would come in a box by itself.
Right.
And then when you get the full system, you get a box with all the head pipes and then a separate box that houses the silencer that fits that. So they sent us the wrong silencer.
Either they sent us the wrong thing or Chase messed up somewhere. Let me...
You wouldn't have needed to order both of those.
Pull up your invoice of what they sent you.
Right.
And get the part number from that and then reference that on their website.
Right.
And
All
I'll
right.
tell you what you ordered.
Wait, can you guys see me? Live stream, we're going to go to break and figure out what the hell is happening right now. We'll be back. Okay.
So,
Crisis averted. I do have to say something. I literally went and texted the guy from Motomillion and he texted me back instantly, so that shit's appreciated. All right. Yeah.
So this piece of pipe that's in here actually comes out.
Right.
So once this piece comes out, each one of these will slide onto our head pipe and will be...
So this is basically useless to us.
To us it is. But this
Right.
is the part that you would need if you were just buying a slip-on. So I guess they kind of just package one pipe.
So they just have one product. And then if you want full exhaust, you just have
Here
to...
it is. You pull this off and put the head pipes on and slide your mufflers on.
That seems like a waste of titanium.
Of this piece, it kind of is. But I mean,
Yeah.
if they've worked it into the price, then...
I mean, but like, look at that though. How... That totally looks like that's welded onto there.
It looks like
I
it,
see
yeah.
where it slots
right into the body of the
But there's
muffler.
that weld right there.
Yeah, look, it just looks like it's all one welded piece.
Okay.
So what we have to do is we have to take these carbon covers off and then slide the spring off.
Spring puller. It's probably gonna be more significant.
And then
than
we'll
the
be
other one.
able to take this piece of hardware off so we could split the two from the bracket and then slide the mufflers off of this pipe.
All right.
And then we can go forward with...
From now on, we're on
you really
glove
don't wanna-
situation, but why are we on glove situation?
So if you leave greasy or oily fingerprints on the titanium and you don't remove them, when you heat cycle the pipes for the first time, those fingerprints will show and stain the pipe. And it's really, 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 really hard to get your fingerprints back off of it.
Okay. So how are you removing the things? This is just like a...
There's just 4 screws that hold 2 screws in each heat shield. There's 2 heat shields.
That is far less complicated than I thought it would.
And then I need an 8mm, please.
I got you on the 8.
And a spring puller. You all right over there?
What? Yes, bro. I'm just...
Good God. It's taking you so long.
I will take my sweet ass time grabbing my spring puller. So are they just gonna...
So you need to...
This seems like something that should be locked down. It is locked down. Okay. There's the infamous Y pipe. Bum, bum, bum.
This thing's crazy too.
Wait, are we good to leave this here? Or
Well, we're gonna assemble the pipe, right?
if anybody needs a titanium Y pipe, contact Motomillion. Use discount code Chase to not pay as much.
Bring the whole thing over here.
I got you on the sound effects can be used in place of product names. I'm looking at this thing and I don't really know what parts can fall off, so I'm all like, I want to hold everything. We're gonna have to do this underneath the bike.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh shit. So these covers will go over here.
Yep,
now.
like this.
I think this might need to rotate more so we can get just one in the top, one in the bottom.
Yep. Hold it down, please. Okay.
That is a serious spring, holy shit. All right, that versus...
Be fair, pick it up with 2 hands.
Dude, that is easily half the weight of this.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I mean, this has this little boy on it, but...
Right, but you're losing that too.
Oh, this doesn't go on that. Oh. All right. Jesus. Okay, I can see what the whole reasoning for upgrading an exhaust is. Even
They're
if it's just
definitely
for weight.
bigger too. Like the diameter of the pipe is definitely bigger on these than it is on those. This thing is going to sound pretty vicious.
Good, not a problem. There's a hole. I imagine that thing goes into that hole.
There's going to be a plug and a sensor. So like here, there's a plug, just a hole just like this one.
Ah.
And then there's a sensor. So we'll have to take the plugs out of those, put them in
Right.
here, and the sensors out of those and put them in here.
Okay. So that stuff we need to put on now.
Yes.
Okay. You gonna tell me? You gonna tell me what the number
He's
is?
going to
Brian?
tell you that the wrench is sitting right there on top next to the pipe already.
Yep. Am I gonna break this? Am I doing this wrong? Or am I just not manly enough right now?
If I have to come over here and help you figure out how to take a bolt out
Okay.
without punching yourself in the chin with a 14 millimeter
I
wrench,
did not.
17 millimeter
I did
wrench,
not punch myself.
it was
The camera saw.
it was really close though.
No punching happened. That for you.
Thank you. And let's take a look at the directions and see where we start.
Okay.
Probably want to bring this up in the air so we can work on it a little bit easier.
Cool. So I'm gonna move the little oil tray because we won't need that, but we will need to get underneath the bike, right?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a block-off plug for the exhaust servo.
I was wondering if there was a block-off plug for the exhaust servo. I'm glad to hear there was. So that block-off plug goes.
This
Oh.
is that's it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Because
So
there's
that'll
no
make it-
longer an exhaust servo. Well, it's just to protect the wire.
Oh, okay.
The reflash is what's going to let the bike know that it's not using that anymore.
So that's just a cap to not
To
have this.
keep the harness from getting corroded from that point forward.
I feel like this exhaust comes with like all the things you'll need.
I should hope so.
So are you reading like what order to do things in?
Yes.
Gotcha. It's like a really expensive Lego set.
Could you imagine how many Lego pieces you can get for that money?
No.
I don't think this garage is big enough to hold how much Lego you can get for that.
That'd be a funny video to find out though.
Because that's where the bolt goes through.
So you're just saving a rivet. Well, there's two bolts go right there?
Well, one would make it slide around like this, and two keeps it from going anywhere. A third one would be a waste.
Ah. For a full exhaust system, there's really not that many parts.
So it starts by telling you to install the lambda sensor into the vertical cylinder pipe.
Okay, so that's like the first step is to
So we're gonna put that pipe on first.
put the loopy pipe on first. Got it. So this goes, remove our patent pending header pipe covers, available at patreon.com/Chaseontwowheels. This is the one and only time you should ever use an exhaust as a horn. Ready for install? Preparing for install. You guys ever watch those space movies where like one spaceship is coming into the other one to dock? That's how I just felt. Like, preparing dock, and then I hit it. So if it was a spaceship, we've all died, but luckily we're in not so serious circumstances here. Dude, Heather and I had a conversation the other day about me using the word sense. Like 2 days ago, I texted her something and said sense. She was like, that's the wrong sense. 3 paragraphs of what, like explaining sense to me. And then 2 minutes later, I did the same. Vocabulary, not my
Like
strong
sense
suit.
and sense.
SINCESENSE. Yeah.
Wow.
Just so you guys are clear, my mom's been on me for like, how old am I? she's been on me for like 25 years and it still hasn't sank in, so it's not really looking good for the vocabulary. And if you're reading the comments, or if you're reading the description and it says something wrong, I could not care less. And that's care, C-A-R-E. I think. Just wanted to clarify. You know, just wanted to get that out there and make sure everybody was on the up and up. Should we use one of them little angly turny things?
If I knew what an angly turny thing was, I might
You
be
know
able
what an angly turny thing is.
might be
Don't
able
you
to agree
pretend.
with you.
Don't you pretend that
And-
you don't know this is an angly turny thing.
Angly turny thing.
Angly turny thing. Hey Brian, what size is that thing? And I'll use my angly turny thing on it.
10 millimeter.
Sweet. Oh shit, I grabbed a 10. A rare moment in my life. So Brian, now I have to tell you the unfortunate news.
That we don't have a tiny angly turny thing.
Well, what I can do for you, and I'm only gonna do this because I like you. I'm gonna give you an extension and another.
The bigger one's not gonna fit in there.
Well,
That's all right, I'm good, I don't need it.
you know, it's about it's the thought that counts. So we didn't have to put anything in between here, any like gasket or was
Put
that
a gasket
metal?
in it.
Yeah, no, but like liquid.
No.
Okay.
All right, so that part's on. So according to the directions, the next thing we have to do is put the O2 sensor in, which we already did.
We are so far ahead.
The next thing we have to do is mount those brackets onto the mufflers themselves.
Correct.
So we need to take off these heat shields again.
Man, that's gonna be so not fun getting that on.
Let me see what's going on here. I just want to turn pipe.
Don't we all?
There we go.
With our powers combined, we are Brake Bike Rebuild Team.
Okay.
Success.
Okay.
You say it's going to be very loud because...
2
Right.
into 1
Uh-huh.
into 2.
Right.
Pretty much straight through mufflers.
Okay. And there's like less distance and...
No, there's really no baffling. It's a straight shot from here to there. There's a little turn in at this end, a little turn out at that end, and that's it.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of bends in the exhaust system to quiet it down. There's not a lot of baffling and packing and everything to quiet the exhaust down. This thing's gonna be real loud.
So bends, quiet, and exhaust down.
Yeah, the more times you make a change direction, the quieter it gets.
Oh, that's
So
interesting
if
knowledge.
you cut one of those open,
Right.
there would be, the exhaust comes in, there'll be a metal plate in the middle.
Yeah.
It'll come all the way down to this end, and it'll change direction and go underneath that metal plate,
Yeah.
through the catalytic converter and out. Or through the catalytic converter and then through the baffles and out. So these are the 3 bolts that we got.
Oh, okay. So the 3 black bolts go up through that into the
subframe, and then
so when we
this
install the subframe, the heat shield goes on.
right here, and it sits like right there.
Oh, so we wouldn't be installing it until we put the subframe on yet.
Correct.
So exhaust done?
Exhaust done. That is a really sleek pipe.
Right.
It is tucked in there really tight.
Do you see how close it is to the freaking swing arm? I mean, to
the side stand?
Kickstand. It is.
That's really not that close. Go look at how close the heat shield is to the purge valve canister.
Holy crap, dude.
It's all that stuff. Super tight.
Yeah, and that amount in the back by the wheel that's tight.
Looks sweet.
Yeah. Compared to this big old chunky thing.
So at this point, the last thing that we would need to do would be to wipe everything down with a clean rag and rubbing alcohol.
Now, is that something we're gonna need to do at the end?
Multiple times.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna do it, and then we're gonna do it again, then we're gonna do it again, and then before we start the bike, we're gonna do it again.
Right.
And you know, it's one of those things that the more times you clean it, the better off you are.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel like it would be rude of us to not give the people some slow-mo shots of the exhaust, like being done. So, without further ado, here's some slow-mo shots of the exhaust. Okay, expensive ass exhaust on our what will eventually, or currently is, our expensive ass Ducati. All right guys, so that's the install of the full titanium front exit Termignoni exhaust. Is that everything?
I think so.
Sheesh. Good looking exhaust.
I agree.
A little expensive, a little pricey.
I agree, but the exhaust note is going to tickle you in all the right places.
Right. So guys, unfortunately, we can't crank the bike up, and we're a ways out from cranking the bike up. So we can't do a before and after, but eventually towards the end of the build, we'll crank it up as soon as we can so we can all appreciate what the sound note is. As far as exhaust install, you've probably installed hundreds more exhaust than I have. So scale of 1 to 10, how hard was that?
I mean, it wasn't so hard considering we had the bike already apart.
Right.
But if we had to do this thing from a full, complete motorcycle,
Yeah.
and then put everything back together again as a full, complete motorcycle, this is a tough one.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Yee.
There are lots of other motorcycles where you don't have to remove the radiator to replace the head pipe.
Oh shit, we don't have the radiator on. Yeah,
No.
you'd have had to.
Radiator,
Whoa.
yeah.
I did not realize how much we had already taken off.
Yeah.
We planned this well.
Yeah, well, we'll strip it down and then you put the stuff that's buried the deepest on first and then
Right.
build everything around it.
So that's why if somebody took their brand new 959, ordered this exhaust, and then brought it to a dealer, that's why it costs so much.
Yeah, because you got to strip the whole bike down, drain all the fluids out of it, you know, remove everything, clean everything up, put all the new stuff on, clean it again, reassemble everything, refill all your fluids.
I'm getting cold sweats as you're talking about all that.
And then after the fluids are filled, the bike needs to be run and then it needs to cool so you can top all your fluids off again, top all your fluids off, and then it needs to be test ridden. And then once it's test ridden, then it's ready to go. But I mean, it's a lot of work to get all this stuff off of there.
I've seen comments on the past videos of like you explaining like everything that has to go into doing work on these, and there's been a lot of people that have made a comment of something along the lines of I see why it costs so much when they take their bike in. Like obviously they own a Ducati or something.
I mean, even if it's, you know, a Kawasaki and you got to go in there and they got to peel layers and layers and layers of stuff off to replace parts, it gets expensive real quick, you know?
Yeah.
Some stuff on some machines is less expensive to do than others, depending on how it's set up. Like, I know for sure that Yamaha, the R1, the R6, the Kawasaki, the ZX6R, and the ZX10, they all have cassette-style transmissions. So you can remove the transmission without taking the engine apart.
Oh, cassette.
Pull it out, plug it in.
Huh, is this bike not like that?
This is not like this. To get to the transmission, this thing you have to split the engine cases. Which is typical until they came out with cassette style transmissions, which was a race thing.
Right.
Because the racers would run a track and they'd be like, no, the gearing is all wrong.
Yeah.
And changing the rear sprocket or the front sprocket wasn't enough.
Right.
So they literally drain the oil, take off the clutch cover, remove the entire clutch assembly, take the chain and sprocket off the other side, and pull the whole transmission assembly out in one big piece. Bloop. The whole thing comes out bolted to a plate that's bolted to the inside of the engine case. You just yank the whole thing out. And now you can have, for a race team, they'll have another transmission completely set up with different gear ratios, and they'll just have it set aside attached to that plate. And they just take the whole thing with the plate, and they stick the transmission in, and they bolt everything back together again, and put the covers on, fill it back up with oil, and down the track it goes for another test session. I mean, that's something they can do in between sessions, like 40 minutes. Replace transmission.
Jeez.
You know, if you had to replace the transmission in this thing, it'd take you 6 hours. You know, because you have to take the front end off, the rear end off, the exhaust system off, the engine out, take it completely disassemble the engine, split the engine cases to get to the transmission parts, and then put the whole thing back together again. It's not really something you're going to do in between sessions. You may be able to do it from one day to the next, like overnight.
Right.
You know, the techs are allowed to work on all the machines all night long and stuff, but
Christ,
that would have to be something that they would have to do in between race days, not in between race sessions.
Oh, Brian, your knowledge with Brian.
Unfortunately, the only reason I know that is because I've had to remove those transmissions.
Yeah, fair enough.
And, you know, it makes for
a fun time.
It makes, well, I mean, I'd rather do a cassette style transmission than you know, an encased transmission in the engine cases. There's still a lot of motorcycles out there that, I mean, the majority of motorcycles, the transmission is inside the engine cases.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to do that for any actual transmission issues. You know, you get lucky enough in some race machines where they've decided to do cassettes. And,
yeah.
You know, but they do that for the race world.
I'm thinking, I've been watching that F1 show on Netflix. So you know how they'll pit, wheels off, wheels on, fill up and go?
Yeah, it's like 3 seconds.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of that with an R6. Like, rider rolls in, stays on the bike, he's like, hey, fifth gear sucks. And then he's like going off.
Well, it's not quite that far.
No, I know, but like in my head.
But they do endurance races, and they do pit stops where they change both front and rear wheels and fill the gas tank in seconds.
Okay, and on that note,
so
Jesus, you're full of
you have to go to an endurance race.
All right, guys, that's going to bring us to the end of this episode of Wreck by Crew. But if you enjoyed all that extra knowledge from Brian about race paces and transmissions and cassette transmissions, make sure to hit that like button. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit also the like button Wait, if they hit it twice, does it dislike it?
It just unchecks the like. Yeah, it doesn't.
So don't hit the like button twice. Only hit it one time. But subscribe to the channel if you are interested in what ends up happening to the Ducati. And if you want to win this thing, go check out Patreon. That is how we fund the show and give these freaking motorcycles away. Brian, you got any more knowledge for the outro crew?
Lots, but let's not get into that.
Outro crew, let us know what you think about the exhaust. It's expensive as hell, but it look fire.
Super lightweight too, comparatively.
Da, 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 da. This is Wreck Bike Rebuild, and we will see you on the next one. Oh, one more second before we get out of here, guys. One last shout out to Motomillion. You're gonna be hearing a lot about those guys on this channel. We're gonna be working with them a ton during this build. And if you have a Super Sport or anything else that Motomillion has parts for, make sure to use the code CHASE to get a discount on whatever you're getting from them. They are going to be working with us a ton, and they've been a huge help in helping us figure out what we need for this bike. So high five, Motomillion. Thank you for working with us. We look forward to working with you even more. Oh, you can also check out this exact exhaust, the crazily priced one, on Motomillion. We'll have a link down below if you guys want to check it out. Okay, now we can end the video.